Hi guys, Igor Pechkovskyi is here, your real estate agent with Windermere Bellevue Commons. Today I have another great market update for you. I have a lot of awesome information, all the latest news, some thoughts, ideas that I want to share. And every time I'm trying to make those things a bit more interactive, a little bit more fun, to be frankly honest with you. And this time I'm going to start with a quick story that will tell you exactly how the market is going. So stay tuned, here it is. Hey guys, so here's the story that will tell you exactly what the market is doing. I just watched the house, beautiful home in the city of Bothell, went on the market at $1,050,000, and I watched it sold for $1,300,000. That's how the market is doing today. You can stop watching this video. This is your update. But fun part aside, $250,000 over asking in the city of Bothell. But that's not it. Wait for it. The buyer had released $100,000 of earnest money directly to the seller. So they just wrote the check and said, we really want to buy this home. Here's $100,000. Please have it. We're going to close on it for sure. Think about that. That's the market today, but what's the moral of this story? It's not to scare you by any means, but you just need to know that why those things are happening. And they're happening for the reason people have the money, right? If they wouldn't have $100,000 to release, they wouldn't write the check, but they do happen to qualify for 1.3. They have strong incomes, and they do happen to have $100,000 in their bank account to release to the seller. They really wanted that house. That's how the market is. It's an extreme example, I agree, but that's what we've seen a lot, and I'm gonna dive deep and tell you more right this second. But before you get depressed, I do have a little bit of a hope to provide in this video as well. So what is the hope? The only thing that I see right now that could possibly change and shift the market a little bit are interest rates, right? They're directly correlated with what the market is doing. And interest rates just went up by a little bit. They used to be last month in 2.7-ish range, and right now they're in low 3. So they went up by 0.25%, a little bit more. And there is an expectation that in the next maybe 90 to 120 days, they will rise again to approximately 3.5%. I see that being the only thing that possibly could slow down the market. As I've seen and watched before, this is a chain reaction, right? If some people get a little fear in there, things change fast, but we don't know if it will be the case. But that's the only thing that I could see so far that could possibly shift the market a bit. So this is some stories, those are some news. Let's dive directly in the market update, and we'll start with the city of Seattle. So let's start with Seattle. The really interesting fact about Seattle, that amount of listings there actually had increased. They had a record high, 10-year record high, and inventory had increased 21% since the last year. And amount of homes that came on the market were at 1,476 homes, which is the highest they had in 10 years. So people are moving out of Seattle, but people are moving to Seattle a lot as well. Their demand also had increased and was the record high, and amount of pendings that we observed, 1,498. So people are moving out like Seattle. There is a lot of inventory, and at the same time, people are moving into Seattle. So that's a very interesting dynamic. Here are a few more numbers on Seattle. If you look at this slide, the inventory was a bottom level of 0.6 of a month. 0.6, that would be 18 days. So if there are no new inventory, everything would sell off at 18 days. And here we could see that 43% of homes had sold above asking price. 20% of homes had sold just at list price. And 75% of all the listings, they did have review dates, offer review dates associated with those listings, and 33% of those listings they actually sold before, which means that Seattle market, even with all the increased inventory that is record high, it's a still very hot market. A lot of people are buying in Seattle and moving into Seattle too. And two more slides for you that I found interesting. If you look at the median close price for the months of February almost 800,000. Those numbers are a little skewed because they compare February to February of each year. But 800,000, that's on the median, 9% increase since the last year. And another one, the listings that are selling below 15 days that go on the market, that average price above asking price is on average 3%. So 3.2% is what we've seen those homes sell over asking. And another historic slide that I kind of liked, what is that above ask price compares to the other years before? And if you look at this slide, 2021 is light blue for the months of February at 43% above asking. There, years before 2020, 19, they're somewhere there. And usually market gets rolled into March and April that are hotter months. And after April, usually those above asking bidding wars kind of drop down. Doesn't mean that market drops down, but usually it means that activity dies down a little bit as the year goes on towards the end of the year. And maybe this would happen this year too. We'll see what happens. Let's talk about the Eastside. Eastside numbers blew me away. Check this out. So inventory historically low. It used to be low, but this is the rock bottom of historically low. Have a look at this slide. Eastside, all areas. So 0.4 of a month. 0.4 of a month means that there is inventory enough only for 12 days. If 12 days goes by, there is no other houses to buy. That is it. Last year, 0.8, 19. We had a lot of inventory, and now 0.4, the lowest that it's been since 2012. So what does that mean? Let's look at offers above asking. This February 2021, 65%. Wow. 65% on the east side sold above asking, 9% at the list price. Last year at 50%. And what does that translate percentage-wise to what are those homes selling? Average days on the market, 5 days, and median difference from the list price, 12%. So 12% on the median, if the house is $1 million to $120,000, on average, could be more, could be less, that those homes sell over asking. Ouch. Two more interesting slides. Another record for the median closed price. If you could see on this slide, 1.265 median closed price on the east side, 28% increase over the last year. So that number is a little skewed, I'll be honest with you, because there are a lot of high-end homes in the 3 million and 2 million and over that had been selling too. So they also impact this number as well. They push this number, but it also means that high-end stuff is selling pretty well and pretty fast as well. And how historically that 65% over asking compares to other years before. As you could see on this slide, 2021, blue line right over here, wow. We've never had in the past few years, homes sell 65% of homes that sold over asking. There used to be 51, 49, for the same time 34, but 65 is quite unbelievable. So Eastside is on fire, and here are a few articles for you of why it is and what are the latest things in the business world that is going on mostly on the Eastside today. Check it out. And we will wrap up this video with latest business articles and news that I always keep track of, and I saved a few for you. So we'll start with Amazon leads 130 billion cloud market share. I found this interesting. It's not really an article, but I found this graph interesting because AWS is the real money maker for Amazon. The employees that work in AWS, they make the most amount of money out of every other Amazon employees, and they're the ones that their office will be in Redmond now. They're opening an office there, and they cover 32% of this market. Microsoft Azure, 20%. Google is catching up. All of those companies are here. Next, we have Alex, life science facility builder Alexandria invests another $200 million in Bothell. That story I started with on the Bothell, here you go. A lot of money, a lot of investment coming into Bothell market. It's blowing up right now as everything else, but Bothell is the next big hot spot. Amazon picks a Bellevue office tower for its next giant lease. This one is interesting. Amazon has picked one of the Crop Downtown Bellevue offices towers to lease. That's a new development, and they will have another. They're looking to add, as you know already, 25,000 employees over the next 5 years in downtown Bellevue. So no surprise there. Apple goes on hiring spree for its Seattle, Siri, and AI teams. The company currently lists 174 Seattle job openings on its website, 90 of which has been posted in February. I'm just reading the news. You don't need to be mad at me or upset. I'm just giving you some idea of what's going on. Facebook is reopening its Seattle area offices at 10% capacity. I found that one interesting because we talk a little about remote working and people go and they never have to come back to the office. Well, they will have to come back to the office eventually. As more vaccine is getting rolled out and now whoever got new CDC guidelines of whoever has a vaccine, they could meet with other people in a closed environment without masks. We're going to reopening slowly, and Facebook is reopening at 10% capacity. And I believe it starts here that it will be later in the year, but they're already talking about reopening. And the last one, luxury condo tower proposed for downtown Bellevue. It's really, really hard to be building condominiums. There are a lot of complexities involved, financing, restrictions, everything. But downtown Bellevue is blowing up. We need some more inventory, and more stuff is coming downtown. So those are my top choices for months of February and March. Thank you so much. Guys, thank you so much for watching again. I know this one kind of ended up a long update, but this is really good information for you. All the stories, everything that we see, it is happening. Money are here, inventory had been low. I hope the more vaccine goes out, we should see more inventory. I hope that if interest rates, 3.5% is still really low interest rate, but I hope that it will push some buyers off and be like, oh, let's wait. But I think you have to pay attention. If you're a buyer, you have to be patient. It takes a lot of patience today. And if you're the seller, you have still to prepare your property, to price it appropriately, to collect all the money you can for that property. So if you have any additional questions, Igor Pechkovskyi, your real estate agent with Windermere Bellevue Comments. Thanks so much for joining me today. Like, subscribe. Thank you. Bye-bye.